and you're listening to another episode of the Hashtag Kangaroos podcast. Here is your host, Dean Masich.
Welcome back to Hashtag Kangaroos, the podcast by North Melbourne supporters for North Melbourne supporters. I'm Dean, and joining me tonight is our special guest, Mark Hello. The Roos made it back-to-back wins on the weekend with a 25-point victory over Richmond at the MCG, but it certainly wasn't a performance that will be remembered for its polish. It was ugly at times, frustrating at others, and there were moments where North let the Tigers probably just hang around longer than they should have and let them get back into the game in the last quarter. But at the end of the day, 4 points is 4 points, and that's what matters most at this time of year and with this group and their development. Mark, hello. What were your thoughts on the game? It probably wasn't easy to watch at times, was it?
No. Look, I'm a massive Trembath fan, so that made up for it in a lot of ways for me. I've been waiting for him to have a game like that for a while, so he'd been in a bit of a lull. So that to me was the massive positive that came out, that he got a best on ground, his first BAG, you'd have to say. So that, given he's a chance to win the Rising Star this year, that was exciting for him and for the club. Albeit we're probably not. Although he's got an amazing leap and he's athletic and he's bloody good in those centre bounces, it always makes me nervous having that he'll get injured doing that. But you can't worry about that too much, I guess. But so look, yeah, that was the big positive. It wasn't it won't go down as one of the club's best ever wins. But look, at least we're winning games. I mean, after the last 5 years, we would most of the time we would have taken that, particularly when we play bad. To play badly and win is not such a bad thing. At least they're finding a way to get the 4 points. I thought the West Coast game was poor, and I thought that game yesterday was pretty average as well. But it's certainly better than the Fremantle performance, which was horrendous. So we're not in great form, but the club is not saying that they were thrilled with the win. Like, Clarkson was annoyed, clearly, and I heard Sheasel talk today, and he was frustrated by it. They know they're not playing anywhere near what they're capable of, so that's good. Like, they're not talking it up as if what a fantastic win. That would be very worrying. It just feels like parts of what they're trying to execute, they're getting around. So it hasn't clicked. Whatever they're trying to do at the moment hasn't clicked. And it sounds like there's elements of the game plan that they're trying to evolve, which I'm pleased to hear. Actually, hearing Sheasel say that pleased me, that they're trying to evolve their game plan a bit more, and it's just not quite working yet. So, yeah, well, we're all hoping that it clicks soon, and they're lucky they're not playing the better sides over these last few. If they'd followed up Freo with another couple of top sides, it would have been ugly, I think.
No, look, yeah, definitely would have. Someone's coming to the chat at Boner time will rise again. It must be Aiden Bonner. Mark, don't be grumpy now. A win's a win. So, yeah, there you go. And Mark hasn't been grumpy, so that's he's off to a good start. But I guess the talking point, and we talked about it off air, is the defence still, to me.
Yeah.
There's a couple of talking points, but are you more... We'll start with the easy one. Are you more confident in Aiden Core ahead of Griffin Logue?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. Why is that? Because I feel like at least he gets a body on his opponent.
He's aggressive. He's aggressive. Yeah. That's right. I think anyone who watched the game yesterday versus, I don't like getting too negative about specific players, but Lowe really frustrated me the last few weeks. On top of which, Clarkson was very defensive about the fact he was laughing after the Freo game and basically told reporters and the public and anyone else not happy about it to grow up. The game was over and da-da-da. But you just lost by 124 points. Wasn't a fantastic look to be laughing and basically having a good time out in the ground just after that, when it was a pretty shameful performance, as Clarkson said. So he sort of contradicted himself a little. I think an hour after the game, when you're out to dinner, have a laugh then. But in the immediate aftermath of it, you've got to I can't understand how you could find anything amusing in that situation. So it was hard for me to watch. And then you watch his efforts in the following week against West Coast. And yeah, like to back up what you're saying, he goes out because I think just about everyone believed it, that his time was up. He had to go back to the reserves. And Call comes in and has a real crack. So, yeah, I was pleased. Call made some mistakes, don't get me wrong, but his body work is pretty rock solid and he's tough. So I think he'll be in for a while. I don't think he'll be going out of the side. Logue won't be getting back in for a while. And I think Pink was next in line anyway.
Well, you'd be surprised he wasn't looked at. He was emergency the week before against West Coast. And
I thought he might have come in. I don't know. I think he's in trouble long term now. I think they've decided Dawson's not a backman, which is interesting in terms of where his long-term future is. Well, it looks like they put him straight back into the ruck and playing forward in the VFL. So that's interesting. Yeah, that suggests he won't be going down back again either. So, boy, they've got some work to do in the off-season in that area. I do think, in terms of defence overall, we've just got to. The mix isn't quite right down there. I thought, we talked about it before we came on, but you've got Caleb Daniel and Harvey almost in exactly the same role. Luke McDonald, and we're talking about one pace. Luke McDonald, Daniel, Harvey, none of them are quick.
Yeah.
So unless McKerch is down back, we looks very slow all of a sudden.
Yeah, there's no speed behind the ball, and that's the concern. Like, you've seen it in the first quarter. There was a lot of slow play. We were lucky to get that first goal. I think it was Cooper Harvey did a dangerous kick to the corridor, which probably went a couple of inches over the Richmond players' fingertips and opened up the game. But you don't want to rely on that. You want to get a bit of speed behind the ball. When McKercher gets it from defensive 50, he run and take on the game, and he created a good space for, I think it was Cooper Trembath, his first goal in the second quarter.
Yeah.
He had a lot of space to work with. So, yeah, and that, I'll go to Zerha in the back line. It makes the team too slow for me in the back half if he's there. I'd rather McKercher play there, and if you can't get Zerha forward, then maybe he shouldn't be in the team. Do you see it any different?
No, I don't. And then Blamires is a good runner, but he was playing more wing.
He's playing on the wing at the moment. Yeah,
on the wing. I mean, he's a great runner and he's a great defensive runner. And he's the ultimate role player. He'll just do exactly what he's told. He'll work hard all game, and he'll end up being a very valuable role player in the side. But yeah, I mean, it's McDonald, Zerha. They're all playing that similar type role. There's a lot of square pegs in round holes across the ground. We've got 3 players in the ruck. We've got a lot of tall, sort of third size forwards, plus we've got Darling, plus Trembath, plus Larky in the forward line. There's a lot of slowness at both ends. There's not much speed in the forward line, particularly when Curtis goes out, as he obviously had to, so that ridiculous tribunal decision. But I won't get into
it. Don't go there. It's not even
and Spargo hasn't. Spargo's getting a little bit better, and he's probably lacking pre-season for the last few years, and he's had a lot of injury trouble, so he probably needs the game time, given they picked him up. But he's not adding a lot of speed. No. And even Doveston, who they brought in, is going to be a clever player, but he's not really quick either. So they probably lack speed on the game. Robert Hansen Jr., Gota, Hardiman, any of those 3 in that back line would be a good option to me to add some run and speed off the back line, and they're all good kicks too. So, yeah, I think there's some potential there in our VFL side to come in. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding negative again. We're probably talking about where we can improve rather than things that are positive. But I think there are some options to improve the mix in our side. I just don't think we've got the squad quite right yet.
Yeah, and that comes with having a poor performance against Fremantle and scraping over the line against West Coast the following week, and probably a less than convincing win against Richmond. I mean, it was 4 goals, but Richmond do have a lot of injuries. They're second last on the ladder. They were okay against Brisbane the week before, but when you get to about 36 points or something, whatever it was in the last quarter, I would expect it to kick on. So it just felt a bit deflating, especially with their percentage. That would have been nice to get a 50, 60 point win.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. I mean, Luke Parker continued his outstanding season with 30 touches and a game high 10 intercept possessions. Charlie Common I thought was really good, 8 intercepts as well. Caleb Daniel bought his own football with a career high 40 possessions. Didn't really have anyone. I don't think anyone was. He was playing on anyone. And I guess Cooper Harvey is doing enough to keep his spot in the team. 19 possessions, 326 metres gained. A lot of pressure on him, I feel, Mark, because if he plays a bad one, he's certainly out of the team, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't think he's played a bad game for 2 years. I honestly...
You're probably right, yeah.
I'm talking VFL and AFL. He forced his way in last year by dominating in the VFL, then kicked a stack of goals all season. Then we bring in Doveston, Spargo, and all these other mid-small type forwards. So he has to go back and then plays well all year in the VFL till he finally gets a go, then plays well in the AFL again. I mean, I don't know what else he can do. I think he's got the same role that Caleb Daniels got. That's the issue I see there. And I think he's a better option personally. So I'd leave him in. I'm not going to be dropping Caleb Daniels. He's had 40 possessions, so he's not going out. But they weren't 40 contested. If you're the link man on the back line and everyone's handing the ball off to you at every opportunity, you're going to get a lot of possessions. I think it's about how damaging you are with the ball in hand. And I think Harvey's got a more penetrating kick, and he potentially, I'm not, whether it's this year, next year, I think that he could be really good for us in that type of role over the long term. I think Gota and Hardiman can play a bit taller as well.
Yeah.
So they're both good runners. They've both got speed. They're both good runners. They're both good kicks. So I want to see them in the side at some point. And I think Hansen Jr. has to be looked at some point. He's been playing well all year, and he's quick and he's got a very good kick. So they're the three, I think, on that back line that will have to get trialled at some point. I don't think Zerha, I know he's talking about Zerha as a swing man, but look, he's a courageous Zerha. So his intercept marks were pretty solid, particularly early. But yeah, I don't know. Again, McDonald and he certainly can't play on the same side in that back line, I don't think. As you said, it makes us too slow.
Yeah. I think he's handy if you got an injury to a key position player, like let's say Common goes down or Core or whoever the second tall is back there. You could drop him back during the course of the game.
I just don't think there's anywhere for it. But at the moment, I don't know where they can play him in the forward line unless Darling goes back to the VFL or Dersma, and they're not going to drop Dersma.
No, we talked about that off air, the reasons for that. So so it's going to be interesting over the next few weeks, like especially when we play teams around the mark as well, like the Collingwoods, St Kildas. I think we got the Bulldogs again. So teams around that mark, it's going to be interesting to see how they challenge us. Because do you see, like I know Clarkson talked about it, after the game that the defence has improved the last 2 weeks, but it hasn't been challenged. I think the defence is going to get tested.
Richmond aren't going to run at you. They're not going to run at you the way Freo ran at us.
No.
So that, I'm not willing to accept where we've suddenly become a great defensive side till I see it against
it's a small sample size.
Yeah, I mean, we played well against Sydney already this year, but that type of side that runs at you and attacks you. I mean, our Sydney performance arguably has been the best performance of the season, I think, because that was against a good side. I think we do play well at Marvel. We still haven't really adapted. We haven't had a great game outside of that ground yet.
That's a problem.
So we haven't travelled particularly well. We were okay at the G, like it wasn't too bad. But we seem to struggle when teams throw tactics at us that we weren't ready for, and then the game gets away from us before we're able to do anything. So we're not able to adapt from whatever we go into the game with as our game plan. If something happens to disrupt that and we lose momentum, it just seems we really struggle in that situation. That said, at halftime against Gold Coast, we obviously were able to come back out after that and get things back on our terms. But that's been the only time that's happened this year.
At Boner Time will rise again. Came into the chat and said, if Hardiman or Gota does not get a run, I'll buy a filth membership. So yeah, that's interesting. Well, it's interesting. We talked about them, and just to go back, Hardiman, Goda, Cooper Harvey, all out of contract at the end of the year. So yeah, we're going to lose all our pace if we lose them all. So we're going to lose a little bit of pace because we're not a very quick team at the best of times.
Yeah, I honestly believe if they could be brave at the select, it's not even brave; it's just use some bloody common sense. But they need to be brave at selection, and I think that could trigger a much better last 9 games. I just think we're a bit static, and they need to be a bit more aggressive and bring some younger players in that have got legs, the leg speed, and the kick on them. From our backline could make a big difference. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do it, which annoys me. But
yeah, they won't do it.
They're just going to play safe, and I don't think that's the best thing for the club in the long term. Like as you said, these guys are out of contract, and Hardiman will get picked up in a second if we lose here. The WA clubs will love to get him back there.
Absolutely.
Goda, I'm sure will keep, and and Harvey just will be gone too. He will get a Guernsey at another club, no problem.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like he's got to take the emotion and the fact that it's his dad's club. I think he's got to take that aside, and if he wants longevity in his AFL career, I think his best option for him would be to look at other clubs. It was similar to Eddie Ford. He showed loyalty. He's decided to extend for 1 year. I'm sure there was other clubs at the time when he was playing good footy that would have come in for him. And then all of a sudden he was on the outer the next year, couldn't get a game, had injuries, and he's out of the AFL system. So you got to.
I think that's a mistake. He went out of the AFL system. I think he was too good not to be playing AFL. But anyway, look, I suppose he's fringe, but Harvey, I think he deserves a 2-year contract. To be honest. I don't understand what they're waiting for. I know his dad played on a 1-year contract for about 8 years.
Last few years,
Yeah, but I don't think that's... I think he's done enough. Like, as I said, I haven't seen him play badly for a couple of years. I don't know why he's got to struggle to get a bloody contract. And there's some guys in there that have been extended already. Holston has been given an extension. I don't think Harvey's done much less than him, to be fair.
No, definitely not. The midfield, we'll transition to that. And I guess the big change is Cooper Drembath doing the CBAs ahead of Sherry. Now, Clarkson has said the reason behind this is to reduce Sherry's workload because he's been having too many contests. He's a bit banged up, so we're trying to manage him. Mark, I don't buy that at all. I don't think that's the reason why Tristan Sherry hasn't been getting CBAs. I think Drembath has got a big leap. And with the new rules, Sherry's probably lost that value in the centre square. I think he still contributes pretty well, Sherry, the last couple of weeks. He's still, not as much as probably the last few years, but he's still contributing quite well. But you look at the CBAs from yesterday. Trembath, 13 CBAs. Taylor Goad, 5. Tristan Sherry, 2. It's almost like with the new rule changes, they're phasing him out. Do you buy Clarkson's saying, he's had too much of a workload over the last couple of years, so we're just trying to manage him for the last part of the year?
Well, it doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. I mean, Goad's playing about 5 minutes of the game. It's just like, God, so if he's banged up, rest him for 3 weeks then. Like, there's no point. No point if being half-assed about it. He's either injured or he's not. Like, if he can't jump over a can and that's the reason, what are they going to say? He's banged up for the next 3 or 4 years, like so he can't go into the centre. It doesn't make sense. I hope you're wrong, and I hope that he really is banged up, but he's got an injury that's not going to get worse, so they just want him to get through the season. Then he'll have surgery at the end of the year. I don't know. There's been no mention of a specific injury. It's just that he's banged up. What does that mean?
He was holding his jaw a fair bit of the game on the bench in the first half and the second half a little bit as well. So I don't know if he's got he got injured during the game, but he wasn't playing this. He wasn't getting CBAs at that time anyway.
Well, Goad, I mean,
27% time on ground, Taylor Goad, after 35% of his debut.
Didn't even feel like, and most of that I reckon was in junk time towards the end. He probably played the last 10 minutes. I mean, Go looks fine to me. Looks like he's going to be a good player. So either he plays as the second ruck and Cherry at least attends centre bounces for bloody half of them, I mean, they can't just keep Trembath in the ruck for the whole year, can they? I suppose they can, but I think Trembath should be playing as the main key forward at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing both at the moment. Yeah,
he looks the most dangerous forward by a mile.
I'd say Darling was probably doing that previous to yesterday. I think previous to that,
he does look banged up now. He looked like an old man yesterday, and he's been in great form. So don't get me wrong. I just think he's tired and sore at the moment. He needs a couple of weeks off.
I wouldn't mind giving him a rest. Yeah,
give him just a rest. Yeah. No, he's a very good player still, Darling. But the problem is, I don't think you can have Trembath, Larkey and Darling in the same side. You certainly can't then have Zerha and Dersma all playing in the forward line. That's five basically tools. Like it's no other club has anywhere near that type of mix. It's most clubs have two tools and the rest of them are bloody smalls, fast. Or a second ruck that's going down there and playing in the forward line at times, and a Dersma type player. But we've got, Zerha's been forced to go back when he's not really a backman. Dersma, they need to get gamed. I understand it, right? He's a young player who's developing, and he is showing some signs. I know people are frustrated with him, but he has got talent, and he's just a bit of a slow developer. But the pennies dropped a lot more this year. He's a lot, his attitude's 10 times better, and I understand why they're persisting with him. His development's more important than Jack Darling. Jack Darling
I agree.
Although in good form, he's not going to be part of our next, proper finals campaign. I know we could squeeze into 10th this year, but when we're capable of winning multiple finals, right? He's not going to be around.
I agree.
Hopefully that'll be next year. But even he's now playing next year, by the way. He's triggered his third season. So I hope, for our sake, for the club's sake, he's playing all next year in the VFL, helping develop young guys there and fills in when we've got a few players banged up next year. He can't be like one of our mainstays on our forward line next season, or we're really in trouble. But even this year, I don't think it's making sense. It's not helping the development. We're making us look too slow. So as much as I want to see Goda and Hudman in the back line, I want to see become a bit more agile in our forward line. So this week coming up, we can't have Darling and Goad both playing. One of them's got to go out. That's one tall too many at least. And if Cherry's banged up, well then he can have a rest and Goad stays in the side playing in the ruck with Trembath helping him. But they're all these tools can't keep playing. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play Go 25% game time, I mean, what's the point of that? Yeah, last 2 weeks we haven't finished off. Yeah, we haven't finished off games too well last 2 weeks. We may need another runner in the game, and you may as well get another midfielder or on-baller or wingman or whatever you want to get into the team.
Put a Robert Hansen Jr. in to add some run in the last half would be much more beneficial.
Oh, whoever.
Or Gota, or anyone.
Just to get a bit more speed in the team. Maybe you need that, to finish off games. Yeah. Who knows? But, just playing someone for the sake of playing them. I mean, Sherry had 2 CBAs, Goat had 5. You could easily have Sherry for 7 CBAs and Trembath had 13.
Yeah, I mean, Clarko's talking about it's good for Goat to get the experience. Well, okay, then we may as well start playing Whitlock in the back line to get him some experience. He's not getting much experience playing in the VFL, so that argument doesn't stack up. I admit it's good for Go to get some experience at the top level, but we'll give him 50% game time then.
Yeah, 50, 60%. It's not that much of a stretch, I wouldn't think, but
he does look promising, by the way, Go.
He does. He's got a good leap. He certainly does. Harry Shields, now, we don't talk about him because he just delivers each week, but he's still only 21, Mark. 31 touches, 12 contested possessions, 4 tackles, 7 scoring involvements, and a goal assist. How come we don't talk about him? Because here's the reason in games like that, where there's so many errors by both teams, his class really came through, and it was probably the difference, him and probably a couple others like Trembath, was a difference in the game, I feel. But Harry Sheasel just goes about his business every week now.
Is he the most underrated footballer in the AFL?
Oh, he's almost underrated by by ourselves, to be honest with you, Mark. I
Yeah.
don't talk about him much either each week because I
He's
just
won 2
expect it.
best and fairest, come second. Did he win Rising Star?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, first year.
He's won a Rising Star, 2 BNFs. He's come second in another, and he's heading towards another BNF this year potentially. He hasn't played a bad game this season. He's getting over 30 possessions every. He's winning a lot of contested ball, and he doesn't waste it too often. I don't know what he has to do. It's funny. I just take him for granted personally. I expect him to play well. I think if he starts to kick more goals as a
that's probably the only criticism you can have of him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even. Yeah, it's he says himself he wants to kick some more. He's a very capable goal kicker too, so I'm sure he will. Yeah. It was great to see George kick a couple, but yeah, I think it's funny. I don't know why, but it's just easy to take him for granted. Just like I've never got a bad word to say about him when he plays or watching him. I'm never frustrated by him, but it's almost like you just assume he's going to do what he does. He really is easy to take for granted, but he's an amazing player. He really is fantastic.
Yeah, lucky to have him. Really.
Yeah, oh yeah. Great.
Yeah, Finn O'Sullivan, only 13 touches, but he had 7 score involvements. Didn't touch it much, but when he did, he was very good. Sometimes it's quality over quantity too, Mark.
I love him as a player.
I think a lot of supporters,
love him as a player. He's just great. I mean, look, the midfield's fantastic in terms of, and having him back was terrific. I guess that's that mid. There was a lot of talented play. George kicked a couple of goals. His impact's always fantastic. Finn O'Sullivan, Sheasel, LDU's now become impossible to tackle. So he looks like he could just take over a game and win it for us on his own, LDU. So he's a bit up and down, but he's not far off either. So I'd love to see that. And look, our centre clearances have been really poor the last month. We've been getting smashed. I don't know how that's happening. They're probably not. Yeah, it's not very settled now. Suddenly, Trembart's going in there and playing Superman, jumping over people's heads, and he has got a freakish leap. Trembart. I'd love to see him one out in the goal square a bit more and move out of his way. Cherry get down and start getting in everyone's way. By the way,
he does.
At one point, it was driving.
He's injuring his own teammates more than he's
injuring he's just lumbering around in there. Get out of the road, mate, please. What are you doing? But anyway, so when Trembart got some space at times, when they did move out of his way, he looked really, really dangerous. Like he could cause, like when Larky was injured at the end of last season, he was the main forward. He was doing a lot of damage down there. I don't know. Larky could just sort of play a bit more decoy for a few weeks. Could be good for us, but I'm obviously very biased because I think Trembart's a freakish talent. For someone who's come straight out of nowhere to be doing what he's doing after less than 15 games or something, it's unbelievable. But and he's up to 22 goals for the season.
That's not bad, is it?
With 9 games. I mean, he's heading towards a 40-goal season. It's unbelievable.
He's playing ruck now too. He's our number one
ruck.
Plus
the ruck, yeah. I mean, he's a serious chance to win the Rising Star. It's an amazing story. But anyway, yeah, I just think the centre bounce clearances is a big issue. They really need to do a bit more with it. With the type of guys we've got in there, they're more than capable. So, I think if we can get on top a bit more in the midfield and just start to work out our method of moving the ball and maybe bring in some speed into the back line, things might click for us in the next few weeks, hopefully.
Well, we're certainly hoping. Maybe we may need a loss for a couple of players to come in because generally when you're winning, even if you're winning ugly, they don't really. History shows.
Well, he's not. He hasn't dropped anyone when we lose. Like,
no, he doesn't.
You have to get pissed to get dropped. You have to go out till 4 a.m, or you stay in the side. Like, 2 guys got dropped from the Freo game did it because they got home at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Oh, look, there was no curfew, and I went through that. There was no curfew on these players, and
wasn't very smart.
And there's no alcohol ban or anything like that. So by the letter of the law, they did nothing wrong. But and the club came out and said, these boys, we're trying to set standards and so forth. But what about standards on the field? Sometimes is pretty poor. As a
professional athlete, should you need a curfew to know that was the wrong thing to be doing?
Well, put it this way, Mark. If it was high-profile players and those two, who probably would have got dropped anyway, would they have made the same decision?
You'd hope not. I mean, you've just lost by 120 points. You're playing a week late. It's not like there was 2 weeks before the next game. I mean, players at that level cannot be drinking alcohol at that sort of...
You shouldn't drink it for recovery anyway.
Well, that's what I mean. To be drinking till 4 a.m. as a professional athlete now, that's went out. Well, like those days are long gone when you go out and get smashed on a Saturday night and play the next week. It just doesn't happen anymore. No. They're at a level now where like every percent counts. It's just you can't be doing that. No. So that's a sacrifice you have to make if you want to play at this level. So you can have a few drinks in the off season, or when you've got 2 weeks off, you can probably let your hair down
during a bye or something. Yeah.
That's right. But now it's like no, you've got 7 days. You can't destroy your recovery with a 4 a.m. bender, unfortunately. But you get paid well enough that it's probably worth the sacrifice, I would say.
No, 100%.
But yeah, that outside of that, it's hard to get dropped at the moment. I understand this whole, and I do get frustrated around the word stability because stability is great, but you can keep going down the same road for the sake of stability, and then find out after a lot of years that it was the wrong path. Yeah. So I think they're selection-wise they need to be bold. I think they're just being too risk adverse. And Clarko came into the season under pressure, being told he had to win games.
Yeah,
and in some ways that's probably not helpful. I mean, they're not going to sack him at the end of this year anyway. So they just said to him, look, play the players you think will be in the next premiership side, not the guys that will win you games this year.
Yeah,
and if that means you win a few less, that's not what we're worried about. So I don't know. I think part of the problem is now we're trying to appease people like us with wins, and I'd actually rather lose with some of the kids in the side, to be honest.
Coaches, when they feel the pressure, always seem to go to the veterans as well. They seem to play them, and he probably will be under the most pressure next year. Outside of this season, because I think, best case scenario, we finish 10th or 9th with a poor percentage and probably bundle out straight away. Because we're going to get through because of a poor fixture, basically, an easy fixture, I should say.
Imagine if this was his 5th year this year with Longmire available. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, Longmire, Simpson. There's a North connection there too. So
well, there's some good young coaches as well.
That's right.
Not even convinced going with another experienced coach would be the right move next. Anyway, James Kelly would be just as good a decision potentially. But look, I'm not saying they should get rid of Clarko either.
No, we're not saying.
We're just talking about what would happen with the pressure he's under at the moment in terms of trying to protect his role, and the fact he's asked for an extension and been knocked back. Not permanently knocked back, but just told, no, we'll wait till see how you go next year, champ. He would be feeling pressure to win games rather than build for what he believes the next proper finals till. So, it's interesting. I mean, I think Darling's already served his purpose in terms of helping develop young guys, bringing stability to the side, and now I think it's hard to drop him because he hasn't done anything wrong. But I do think they've got to start by playing players that are going to be around for the next finals if they believe they're the right players. And I think with players like Gota, I think we need to find out. Like he's been injured for a couple of years. I think we need to start testing him. Fair enough, they haven't played him up till now. They've had to wait till he gets his body right. But he's now in good form. I think they have got to play him very soon.
Wolf's Whistle has come into the chat. Said, great show. My view is Clarko wants to win games as opposed to playing young guys, so we stay relevant and attract free agents and also not lose players over off-season. Look, that's a possibility. That's a very good point. So thanks for coming into the chat there. Any concerns with Dersma? No goals from him 3 weeks now. Looks a little short on confidence. We did mention him a little bit before. yeah, we've also got players knocking on the door, which we'll talk about soon, the reserves. But I guess the good thing was that he had opportunities. He just didn't take him. He had three
He
behinds.
normally takes them. It's very
Yeah,
like
it's
normally that would be
usually a
three.
very good kick.
That
Yeah,
would normally be a 3-goal game for him. And then like he was doing that early in the year and getting 2 or 3 goals, and he's not a high stat player at this point in time in his career.
no.
His engine he needs a couple of big preseasons. Like his engine's not nowhere near the level yet. He doesn't create like eventually he will create double the amount of opportunities for himself that he does now once he can run. I'm not saying he's Gunston, but he's rangy type player like Gunston in a lot of ways. Now Gunston can run up and down the ground the whole game. I mean, he's a freak of an athlete, Gunston. Dersma will develop that side of his game a lot more, and he will get chances to kick 4 or 5 goals a game at some point in the future. But he's stamina-wise, he's not quite there at this point. But when he gets opportunities, normally he kicks those 2 or 3 goals where he just missed them all this week. I'm not too worried about him from that perspective. And I think Clarkson's determined to keep playing him so he does develop and keep getting better. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. That doesn't concern me. I know some people want him. If he was a fringe player, he would be dropped probably at the moment. But they know what they're getting long term, so they're prepared to persevere. I don't really have a problem with that.
No, 100%. I agree. Like I'm happy to give him games. Because his best this year has been really good.
Yeah,
he's done some really good things, especially that Gold Coast game in that second half when we were coming back. The things he did when he touched the ball.
That kick. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, there was a few things he did that quarter. The last quarter in particular. Yeah, he turned things into gold, and he's a special talent, that's for sure.
He can be a Rolls Royce, like with his decision making, his kicking. So they're just, and he can take a grab. Like he's got beautiful,
great
hands.
set of hands.
Yeah,
so definitely.
Just persevere with him. He's embedded in the club now. Let's re-sign him and then move on.
Well, hopefully we can. Definitely.
Yeah, I think.
But he might be having second thoughts himself. Who knows, Mark? He might think that Jack Darling's got a couple more years left in him, and he thinks, well, that leaves me on the outer, especially if Zerha goes back forward. So we'll have to wait and see. The small forward situation, Mark. I hate to keep going back to it, but that first quarter in particular, when that ball went to ground, there was no one in sight that front and square, and the ground ball gets in our forward half. It was probably the worst in the competition. I haven't checked the last couple of weeks, but it was the worst in the competition there. We don't have much, do we?
What a disaster.
I think Costanti has shown signs of improvement, and he deserves his opportunity. But a lot of people on social media are going at Charlie Spargo. He had 20 possessions, turned the ball over a few times. He was okay, did a couple of nice things, but he didn't kick a goal.
He's more high half full. I don't know. It just.
Is he any good, Mark? Is he a good player? I don't think he's a good player. I think he's an average player in a good team, but I think he's below average in an average team, which we are.
I'll wait till next year after he's done another preseason. He doesn't look like physically. He looks like he like a 40-year-old in a way. He just doesn't look fit.
He's not quick, no.
He doesn't look rock hard, defined, explosive. He looks like he needs work in the gym. I'm just being facetious, but he's just. I'm frustrated by the fact we just keep on bringing in small forward after small forward after small forward. None of them are particularly high quality. And we just end up with all these average small forwards at the club. I don't know how many times they could get this wrong. It's almost like we're still up. Clarko's gone ballistic at Rawlings for not bringing in the wizard, Watson, when we had the chance. And he's just desperately trying to make up for it by pulling in every second.
Yeah, pretty much every.
Banch, we got, but we took Banch before we took Trembath. Don't forget.
Yeah, last year.
And he's been okay in the VFL, and he's done a few good things in the seniors. Yes, Constantine's. Well, we've already re-signed him, so he's locked away for a while. He does some good. He seems to be getting better, and he's an okay player. But look, one mix in our forward line's not right, so that's probably not helping our ground ball gets. We've got too many lumbering forwards in our forward line anyway, so they're going to need to play. Look, maybe Doveston's another one like Dersma that we probably just do need to get games into him because they picked him fairly early in the selection, so they need to develop him. I think the mix in the forward line's not right anyhow. But I'm not super confident about the small forwards we've got at the club. And Robert Hansen Jr. is the quickest of all of them. They moved him to the back flank like a whole lot of others, like Harvey and others. Maybe they should have persevered longer with him. At least he had the speed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but they can't get that part of the game right. Curtis plays a bit as a small forward and a mid-sized forward. He's an absolute gun. But he needs some help. Like on the ground, we need some others that are good when it hits the ground. And we probably need to play a few more of them and a few less 6'3" players.
We've got a lot of those mid-sized forwards.
Yeah.
Now, I've put the question out on X today, getting people's thoughts on the game. Everyone was pretty similar in sort of saying they're happy to take the 4 points, but there is a lot of room for improvement. That seems to be the message, Mark, and it's probably not a bad way to think about it. I guess we're happy to take the 4 points, but we want to see improvement from a game like that, which is rated one of the poorer games of the season by a lot of experts.
I'll take winning any day, but look, the last 2 weeks have been weird feeling after winning both games, West Coast and that one. It wasn't like I'm ecstatic. You don't expect, you're not going to feel like the Gold Coast game every week, obviously, but we haven't really had a game this year where you go, right, that's where we're heading. This is the North that I'm going to see for the next 4 or 5 years. That actually hasn't happened the whole year. We haven't had a win where we've absolutely just smashed the opposition and looked dominant and look, the method looks like bang on from the start and you go, right, that's what we've been waiting for. That hasn't actually happened yet. Maybe there was parts of the last quarter against the Gold Coast, but when you've got nothing to lose and you're going all out attack, it's a bit different as well. Like when you start in the first quarter like that and you get on top of the opposition and you grind them right down, like we haven't had a big statement game. Like I thought last year when we smashed Carlton at the MCG, actually I thought then, this is it. This is where we're going. But I haven't seen that since then, to be honest. Now we've ground out some good wins against teams around us on the ladder most of the year. Like, apart from the Gold Coast game, we haven't really taken a scalp.
Yeah.
So I think we're waiting for that to happen as the next step with this team.
Well, Gold Coast don't look very impressive at the moment either. So who knows, in a couple of weeks it might not be a scalp because they're sliding away. They're just above us at the moment. So on percentage.
I'd love to beat a Hawthorn. I'd love to beat.
We won't beat Hawthorn, Mark.
No, well, that's what I'm saying though. So
I know what you mean.
We've got no confidence of beating a side like that. Like, we certainly would like us to beat a Melbourne then, because
that's probably the one.
Midfield and Jackson and all those gun mids, Brownlow medalists and Norm Smith medalists and quadruple best and fairest players, and they've just gone bang straight past us. So I'd like us to be able to compete with a side like that.
No, look, and that's going to be the big test when we play teams like that around the marks and Kilda as well over the course of the season. So and that's when you get a good gauge. If you're losing to them by 5 or 6 goals, then you're sort of thinking, and you win 9 games for the year. Have you sort of improved, or is it just a case of having a soft fixture? So
I think you're dead right. If we beat Melbourne and St Kilda, then I'll really feel like it's been a solid year and we've improved. If they're beating us, and it's like, okay, we've played West Coast twice, Richmond twice, Essendon twice. Yeah. Have we really Port Adelaide twice? Have we really improved, or are we just beating the other bottom sides like that? With a whole bunch of gun high in picks like Sheasel, Wardlaw. There's a lot of top 10 draft picks in our midfield. We'd expect to be beating the bottom sides.
No, exactly right.
Yeah. Anyway.
we'll find out more over the coming weeks. But we'll go to the reserves, and they had a good win by 63 points against the Tigers. Bailey Scott now playing on the ball marks, right in the guts, 35 touches. Just keeping his name slightly in the frame. I don't think he's going to play another AFL game, but you never know if there's injuries. Zach Fisher, 36 touches, classy goal.
Hold on, can I just stop you there? I mean, this is a bizarre situation. Bailey Scott's come top 3 in our best and fairest twice.
Yep.
And now he's never to play another AFL game again. I don't understand how it's got to that point. Like, I know he's been out of form for 12 months, but he's not like he's 35. He's 26.
Other players have gone ahead of him, and he dropped back, and that's the brutal business of the game, I guess, Mark. It only takes one bad season, and all of a sudden you're washed, you're finished, and someone else gets in front of you. So because he was really poor last year, like he had a really poor year. Down the pecking order, we haven't had any injuries in the seniors. Dylan Stevens has been healthy. Jai Simpkins been healthy. Players that. The positions that he plays, they've all been healthy, so he hasn't. I
wouldn't take him off the list. I don't think we've got enough players like that with speed, that sort of athleticism. So I think we've got a lot of Spargo type players at the club, and a lot of Luke McDonald, Daniels plays at the club. They're all contracted, by the way. I think all the ones I mentioned, so we can't get rid of them anyway. But it's interesting. Like I don't see that we've got a lot of Bailey Scott types. Although because if Dylan Stevens gets injured, for example, then he would come into the side potentially. So I don't know. Maybe they'll keep him for depth next year, but possibly not. Oh,
lost connection. So sorry.
Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. You can hear me all right?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I lost connection. We're talking about.
Oh.
About that, gentlemen, lost internet connection. The wonders of the world. We're talking about Bailey Scott. You were talking about Bailey Scott. You said he should have kept his spot on the list, Mark. You want to keep him on the spot, even if he doesn't get a game. You'd be happy with that?
Yeah, I think he'd be okay for depth. I thought you were so disgusted by that opinion. You just stopped responding to me. But
no, of course not, mate.
No. I don't know. I'm not 100% that we should keep him. I'm just not 100% convinced he's finished yet. I'd love to see him play a game before the season's out just to see what happens. But I'm not wishing injuries on other players. But yeah, I think you're probably right. I think he'll struggle to keep his spot.
Yeah, that's just I mean, he's 26 now. Generally speaking, they want to. You're going to have a couple of father sons come through this year by the looks of it, McCartney, the Harris boys. So you got to free up list spots, and unfortunately, he might be gone. Hardiman and Goda though, 27 touches apiece. We did talk about those boys. They look really good in the VFL. CCJ sharing the ruck duties with Will Dawson, very muddy in the middle of the ground. Both played well.
Well, they'd love that. Those two are probably suited to those conditions, to be fair.
Yeah, big-bodied CCJ. Zach Banch playing a little bit behind the ball a lot of the game. 3 goals. Yeah, kicked. It looked pretty good.
They're not sending him to the back line now, surely.
It was almost playing a McKercher role. It was a high half forward and then pushing back. Yeah, Whitlock played pretty well, kicked 3 goals, took some contested marks.
That's good.
Oliver Griffin, and this guy is a talent with 4 goals. Just not going to get a game, though. A lot of people are calling for him to come in, but I mean, we've already talked about it. I mean, we've got too many forwards as it is. How's he ever going to get a game unless there's injuries, Mark?
That's the thing. Look, I can sort of understand why they picked him up because he's obviously a very talented player. I just don't know with Zerha and Dersma. I don't know what the long-term plan for him is, whether they think they can develop into a mid or a wingman or a half-back, or I don't know. It's interesting because, well, he's probably gone straight past Braden George. That's probably the nail in his coffin of him playing this year. So he's probably the next one up. He'll get a game at some point. I mean, they're playing Taylor Goad 25% game time. Maybe this guy will come in and play 20% game time. I don't know. But look, it's exciting. He's obviously. I haven't watched the VFL, so I haven't seen him play. But he's obviously got a beautiful pair of hands.
Yeah. He's looked pretty good. For a 19-year-old kid, he's got a good body, good size.
Is he taking big grabs, or has he just sort of been crumbing?
He's been leading up. He kicked 4 last week as well, I think, or 3 or something.
3, I think. Yeah.
He's got a good set of hands. He's got a beautiful kick on him too. Very good technique. He looks like he's going to. Every time he's seen it, it's been like Matt Whitlock when he's kicking for goal. It looks like it's always going to go straight through the middle.
Nice.
Yeah, he's got a nice technique. But
see who else is a good kick for goals? Trembath. He does not miss many shots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I forgot talk about that. 4 goals straight. Yeah, he has. I can't remember the last time seeing him.
He doesn't miss
behind. No. But we don't want to jinx it. We talked about. We probably would have said that about Dersma last week, and he turned to shit this week. So, yeah, it's this guy's very very good talent. Probably similar to Zane Dersma in that regard. Oliver Griffin. Lockie Daviston got a couple of goals late, and Braden George kicked a couple of goals. But I don't know if there'll be any changes this week, Mark. I think we chatted about it. I don't think they're going to go against the fabric and drop senior players for like a Josh Godo or Riley Hardiman or anything like that.
Yeah, well, I find that depressing. But I think you're right. I think they'll just go unchanged. But the thing is, they go. It's not like we lose it. See, this is what happens. You lose a game, they go, we've got to give them another chance to redeem themselves. Then they beat a couple of bottom sides and there's no changes again. It just doesn't make sense to me anyway.
Then it resets the clock.
Yeah, I think, as I said, I think they've got to be a little bit more aggressive about, can we just pick the side that will give us something different instead of just scraping home. I think Clarko is trying to protect. He's taking the conservative route in the hope of scraping in for as many 4-point games. Look, we're trying to make the top 10. I get that as well, but yeah, I think we've got more chance of playing well by having a few more bold selections, particularly coming out of the back line. But yeah, I'm not confident either.
No, I think they'll keep it as it is this week. Well, Paul Curtis came out suspended, so he's still away.
No one got injured yesterday, did they?
Not that we know of. I know Tristan Sherry was holding his jaw for a fair bit of the game, so we'll find out more about that. But, yeah, I mean, the only one I could think of. But it sounds like after the game, Clarkson was sort of saying he was happy to have Taylor Goad playing. So, I don't think they're going to do too much in that regard. But we'll wait and see. Things can change.
I'll say one thing. The high-performance team have done a good job this year. It has not been easy with Wardlaw, but they seem to be getting that right now.
But I don't think that was a tough decision to sort of, we need to get a specialist runner to work on his technique because he was doing a lot of soft tissue injuries and it didn't take a genius to realise that this guy wasn't running properly.
Yes, you said that a long time ago.
And they've just got someone in that's helped him. And they've had a lot of soft tissue injuries in the reserves. Just been lucky it hasn't been in the seniors. But I mean that's the most important thing is you don't get the injuries to your senior players like the Sheasels, LDUs.
They're doing a decent job, and then Goda's obviously had to come back from a horrific injury, and they've slowly got him back as well. So we don't have too many injury issues, so you have to say they've done a good job with that, and we really haven't for over the last 3 or 4 years. That hasn't been our reason for failure. Has been soft tissue injuries generally.
Yeah.
So that side of it, they've built them up pretty well, and the fitness level seems to be okay. The strength levels are pretty good. I don't think that's an issue for us. Our issue seems to be execution of skills, decision making, moving the ball. You can't argue that we have that side of the game now. What has improved is our defensive pressure from previous years. That's far better over the ground.
Except for probably the odd game. Yeah, maybe Adelaide second quarter and the Fremantle game.
Yeah. Geelong at certain points. But yeah, overall, we're in the top 3 in the comp for defensive pressure. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's an improvement. So, we'll have to wait and see. But going against Essendon, I don't think there'll be too many changes. I think they'll just stick with what they've got. And we seem to play Marvel pretty well, so we've got a fair chunk of the games left at Marvel for the rest of the year. So you never know.
Handy.
Yeah, it is handy. Anything else, Mark? Before I let you go?
No, mate. We'll bank the win. Move on.
That's it. That's a good way of looking at it, Mark. I'm happy with that. But that brings us to the end of another episode of Hashtag Kangaroos. A big thank you to our special guest, Mark Hello, for joining us and sharing his thoughts on North Melbourne's 25-point win over Richmond. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, buddy. Always a pleasure.
Might not have been perfect performance, and there are certainly areas the Roos will want to tidy up. At this stage of the season, 4 points are 4 points. Good sides find a way to win when they're not at their best, and North did exactly that on the weekend. Thanks to everyone who continues to listen, subscribe, share the podcast, and support what we're doing. We love hearing from fellow North Melbourne supporters, so make sure you reach out with your thoughts on the game or what you'd like to discuss in the future episodes. I'll be back most likely Thursday to preview the game against our arch rival, Bombers, coming up. Until then, I'm Dean, and on behalf of Mark Hello, thanks for listening to Hashtag Kangaroos. Stay passionate, stay proud, and as always,